Hey everybody, it's Mark, DoctorDeadwax, and it's time for another video. This is Retracing the Groove 12. So, this is where I play records from my collection, and tonight I asked my wife if she could come in to my room and just give me 8 random pulls, and it led to a great evening's listening. So, the Tom Green beer, you might know this crazy Canadian comedian. Anyway, this is a milk stout that's brewed by Beau's All Natural Brewing, and it's pretty fantastic. Cheers, everybody. If you ever see it, if you ever get a chance, grab it. It's like $5 a bottle here, but it's well worth it. I like to keep this under 10 minutes, so I'll just get started. First is Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. This is, and it's got like this hype sticker on it. What's on here that most people wouldn't have is a previously unreleased live version of Portobello Bell. So basically, this is completely non-essential. It's got a little vanity label on it, packed full of music. It's from the era of CDs. The little sticker there, or the little stamp, you could get on LP, cassette, or CD. MC, it might have been metal cassette. Anyway. And it comes with a inner sleeve with all the records which I have. So I'm glad she pulled this out because I mean I spun it, I listened to it, it sounds good, and I'm getting rid of it. It's going to go in the sale pile because I actually have every record the songs on here are from. The only one I don't have is was it On Every Street? I saw that tour, but I don't have that on vinyl yet. So, anyway, half decent record. I'd rather listen to all of those songs on the albums they're from and the songs from Brothers in Arms. I'd just rather avoid that album in general because it's just overplayed to death. Next up is just a classic. This is the Allman Brothers Band, Brothers and Sisters. I think this is probably, oddly enough, my favorite Allman Brothers Band record. I don't know. I really like Audouin's sound too. And this is a U.S. first pressing on Capricorn. It has a misprint, which is one of the ways you can tell on the tracks on the back. And this is just a really strong Allman Brothers album. I'm pretty sure this is around the time of Dwayne's death. There might be, is it 1 track or 2 tracks on here Dwayne's on, and a couple tracks on here Dwayne isn't, or is it, anyways, I don't remember the whole story. I talked about it years ago when I bought this and showed this, but I love when this surfaces randomly. This is just a great rock and roll album from a great band. Those songs are typically better live. If you've ever seen the Allman Brothers, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, I think you missed your chance. But they were just a great band. Masters of the Jam. I saw them do some 4-minute song once for like 28 minutes, and they kept like pulling it back to 3 blind mice, that really simple chord structure, and then they just wander off again, and then they come back to 3 blind mice. And honestly, like, it was amazing. It was in no way too long. I don't know, just amazing musicianship from that band. Next is Jade Warrior. This is Last Autumn's Dream, and this is an excellent album. I love this, and it was great to play it again. It's a U.S. pressing, but it's on U.S. with the vertical swirl. I need to find a better copy of this. This copy is a little noisy, and it's a little crackly in it, but it's really strong, really powerful, progressive rock. Probably, well, it's the best album from them I've heard. I have 3 of their records. I wouldn't say I'm incredibly well versed in their catalog, but love this. Just amazing. Here's another one. I swear I've shown this in a Retracing the Groove before, but this is North Star Triskelion. This is a progressive rock band from the United States. I'm pretty sure this is self-released or on a very, very, very small label. Progressive rock in the we sound like Marillion, who sound like Genesis vein. It's you know, it's not A-list. It's like B- list, C list. I don't know. The vocals on the guy are a little unpolished. The musicianship on the music is a little slightly edgier than Marillion and Genesis's flow. It's a little more, slightly more disjointed. For if you're into progressive rock and you like Genesis and Marillion and you want more things that have that same atmosphere, I would suggest tracking this down. I only have this because I found it once for $10 and it's worth like $25, so it's pretty hard to come by, and it's kind of fun when it comes out. It's you know, it's not my favorite record by far, but actually I'm going to keep it just because it's interesting. And yeah. Next is Led Zeppelin 1. This is a really nice copy. This is a clean copy of Led Zeppelin 1. This is a Canadian Red Atlantic. You can see the Red Atlantic label really shows off the spindle marks. But a friend of mine gave me this. I was over at his house one day, and I told him I was looking for Red Atlantic of their first record still, and he gave me this, which was incredibly generous. Now this is a Canadian first pressing, which are incredibly sought after. If you don't have, if you can't afford a UK first pressing of Led Zeppelin 1, the Canadian Red Atlantic is basically the one you want. For Led Zeppelin 2, the one you want is UK, and then you want a US Robert Ludwig, and then you want a Canadian Red Atlantic. And for 3, I would say you want a UK and a Canadian Red Atlantic. So the first 3 of these Canadian Red Atlantics are just to die for. They have a lot more bottom end and a little bit more clarity, and the vocals more present in the mix. So this is a really generous gift. These are not cheap. They're, well, they probably come down with the recent reissue, but anyway. Next is a record from one of my favorite, a musician who's a member of one of my favorite bands. This is Amy Ray, Didn't It Feel Kinder? And this is Amy Ray of Amy Ray and Emily Saliers are the Indigo Girls, and so in that band, Amy is the more edgier rock and roll kind of side of the band, and Emily's more like a traditional folk rock singer-songwriter in the vein of, say, Joni Mitchell or somebody like that. So, and this record is a little. She did this is her second or third solo record, and she's also got a couple, 1 or 2 records out with Amy Ray and the Butchies, which is really garage rock kind of music. But this is a good record. This would be closest to the sound of the Indigo Girls of all of her solo material. So it's kind of why I like this record the best, because I'm more of a fan of that kind of folk rock sound that they have, as opposed to when Amy gets more garage side of things, because garage really doesn't work for me. Next is, I've shown this recently too. This is the Horace Silver Quintet, You Gotta Take a Little Love. And This is a uni pack with the sleeve on the inside. And this album looks really cheesy, eh? Hey, that sounds really Canadian. But it's fantastic. This is just the cheesiest looking record, and this is really solid, hard bop kind of jazz. Blue Note, Liberty pressing, which it should be for first pressing, and yeah, these are dirt cheap. These are $10 or less. So if you're looking for good jazz music on the Blue Note label and you can't afford to buy the really expensive stuff, or you know, you're just starting out, you could probably get one of these shipped to you off eBay for $11. I mean, it's crazy how cheap they are. And it's really strong. And it has Randy Brecker, Benny Maupin, Horace Silver, John Williams, and Billy Cobham Jr. So I mean, come on, the lineup is just fantastic. And finally, one of my favorite records for at least, well, it's coming up on 30 years, at least 28 years. This is Stephen Reich, music for 18 musicians, and this is ECM. This is an ECM release, and I didn't even check this earlier. I've never checked this that I know of, but it's a Quiex pressing, so you can see the flashlight moving around behind it. And this is very meditative, repetitive groove. He put 18 musicians together. It's not jazz on ECM. This is modern classical, avant classical even. There's a whole story of how he does this, but there's like 18 musicians. There's violin, cello, voice, marimba, xylophone, marimba, maracas, piano, mellophone, clarinet, bass clarinet, and it's just these kind of repeating passages of music that they start with one element of the 18 and they move through it, so it'll be like a line that's repeated by or a passage that's like kind of maybe done vocally and then done by the piano and then done by the clarinet and the bass clarinet and the xylophone, but then they're all kind of textural and layered upon each other. It's a great, just a fantastic record to get kind of lost in. It's a great record, but say a meditative record. I really enjoy this record. It's kind of, it has a calming effect on me. It's kind of centering. It's a palate cleanser. I don't know. It's just a really strong record. And I hear this kind of technique used by, like, say, Peter Gabriel on Us, or Sufjan Stevens on Illinois. So anyway, just a great record. So that's what I was listening to tonight, and just a great night of listening. Stephen Reich, music for 18 musicians, and You Gotta Take a Little Love by Horace Silver. Didn't It Feel Kinder by Amy Ray. Actually, I have two of those. Led Zeppelin 1, classic, eh? North Star, Triskelion. Jade Warrior, Last Autumn's Dream, Brothers and Sisters by the Allman Brothers, and Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, which is basically a greatest hits record that's going in the sale box as soon as I re-sleeve them. So, thanks for watching, everybody. A little bit long, but have a great day. Keep the record spinning.